My name is Rohan Pethiyagoda. I'm the chairman of the Sri Lanka Tea Board. My background isn't ideally suited to my job because I started life as an electronics engineer and then a biomedical engineer, moved on to a career in research biology, and now I find myself heading this industry. The only qualifications that really I can think of that suit me to this job is the fact that my father and my grandfather were both pioneers in the tea industry, and the fact that I bought myself 50 acres of tea 20 years ago, pulled all the tea out and turned it back into forest. The tea board's got four essential functions: to promote Sri Lankan tea and market it across the world. We regulate the industry, the quality of manufacture at the level of the factory and so on. We also have a quality assurance system to make sure that all the tea that leaves our shores are up to basic international quality standards. And finally, we have an extension service for tea development. That's to make sure that tea gets replanted and the factories stay modernized and stuff like that. So to keep the industry up to date, we give grants to factories. There's more than 700 tea factories in the country, and so it's a lot of demand. And seeing as the industry is now a century and a half old, we've got a lot of aging factories. We've also got a lot of aging tea. Tea needs to be replaced every 40 or 50 years, which means that there's got to be a continuous cycle of replanting. And very often the industry doesn't find itself with the resources to modernize factories by putting new plant and machinery in, developing new processes, especially IT solutions, because IT is relatively new in the tea industry. And then on the side of planting, we've got to also pay attention to things like climate change that demand that we have new varieties of tea introduced that are resilient to climate change or adapted to local climate, and offering greater yields and probably a greater tolerance to dry conditions and so on. So this is something we pump money into the industry for. The tea board is funded by the government, which in turn derives taxes from the export of tea. The taxes amount to about 17 rupees a kilo at present rates. It's computed in a very complex way, but that translates into a little more than 11 US cents. A small amount of that, about 2 US cents a kilo, comes to the tea board as a promotion levy. And that adds up to a quite formidable $5 or $6 million a year, in local terms quite valuable. And we've got an accumulated fund of about $40 million, which is there for promotional use. So we've targeted the main consuming countries for us, the former Soviet Union countries, the CIS, Iran, Turkey, Syria, Iraq. These are all important markets for us because they've been fixated on Ceylon tea for many decades now, and so the demand is greatest in those markets.